Breaking news. The Prime Minister has just been called about as popular as a bucket of sick on live television. Brutal? Absolutely. Shocking? Even more so, because polling data suggests it's painfully accurate. Let's step back and understand how we got here. Britain is in the grip of an economic crisis. The NHS is overwhelmed with record waiting lists. Families are forced to choose between heating homes or feeding their children. And what does Prime Minister Keir Starmer decide to share with the nation amidst all this? His emotional reactions to watching a Netflix documentary with his teenage son. Yes, you heard that right. This is supposed to be leadership. While millions are struggling, the country's top politician is sharing his feelings about family TV habits, as if he were hosting a parenting vlog. If this seems completely detached from any semblance of actual reality, then stay tuned and hit subscribe, because what follows makes crystal clear just how far political leaders have strayed from the lives of ordinary people. Enter Nana Akua, GB News presenter, to deliver what may be the most devastating political takedown of 2025. This isn't some boring policy critique. This is a surgical, no-mercy dismantling of Starmer's public image. Akua starts off admitting she truly believed that the clip was fake, some sort of joke or AI-generated nonsense. And honestly, who could blame her? In 2025, between deepfakes, parody accounts, and government policies that sound more like satire, reality is hard to recognize. But it was real. Starmer went on camera to discuss how emotionally challenging it was to watch TV with his son. If that's the biggest crisis in his life, he's either dangerously out of touch or has the easiest job in the country. And we all know it's not the latter. Akua did not stop there. She called out Starmer for using his own child as a political prop, a means of appearing relatable, sympathetic, even vulnerable. And she might be right. When your approval ratings are scraping the bottom, you'll reach for anything that humanizes you. The family card, Netflix mentions, or personal struggles. Except he isn't ordinary, and it shows. While families lie awake worrying about electricity bills, Starmer talks about documentaries. While parents skip meals to feed their kids, the Prime Minister shares his emotional take on streaming content. The disconnect is staggering. Along came the video of Starmer falling over at an open-air event. Akua wasted no time. She tagged him Britain's Joe Biden, absolutely merciless. We've all seen the Biden stairs incident, and in a flash, Starmer seems to be emulating those very unsteady steps. No, you don't have to have the coordination of an Olympic gymnast to run a country. But optics matter, particularly when your approval rating is in free fall. Every stumble is recorded, replayed, memed, and used as evidence that you are unfit for office. And then came the line that's now echoing across British political commentary, 7 words that deliver a knockout blow, perfectly capturing what millions of voters are feeling but haven't been able to articulate. According to the polls, it isn't even an exaggeration. Nana Akua then looked straight into the camera and delivered the line that has now exploded across social media. Starmer is about as popular as a bucket of sick. Not just sick, a whole bucket. Graphic, unforgettable, and now permanently fused to Starmer's public image. That's the power of a perfectly crafted political zinger. It sticks, it spreads, and it defines. But Akua wasn't done. She immediately followed with a statistic that makes Starmer's Netflix confession seem even more absurd. In the 17 months since he became Prime Minister, he has taken 42 international trips. 42. That's nearly 3 trips abroad every single month. 2 ways to interpret this. Option 1, he's tirelessly promoting British interests worldwide. Option 2, he's doing what any politician with collapsing approval ratings would do, physically escaping British voters. After all, it's hard to face criticism when you're rarely in the country. Terrible leadership? Absolutely. Top-tier avoidance strategy? Also yes. And Starmer wasn't the only target. Akua then turned to Chancellor Rachel Reeves, who may have taken the hardest hit. Akua described Reeves as constantly drowning in her own tears and completely out of her depth. Harsh words, but then came the staggering statistic. Reeves is now the least popular chancellor in history. Not recently, not in decades, ever recorded. Achieving that level of nationwide disappointment takes real effort. Then came the jaw-dropping poll that pushed the segment into "is this even real?" territory. A recent YouGov survey asked, "Do you think Labour is doing a good job managing the economy?" The answer? 0%. Literal zero. Not a rounding error, not a fluke. In a country of over 60 million, not a single person surveyed thought Labour was managing the economy competently. That's not just failure, that's historic, unanimous, nationwide rejection. And if you thought Akua was done, think again. She then hit her political hat trick with Mayor Sadiq Khan, who, like Starmer, seems to favor international trips over facing domestic challenges. Khan recently flew business class to Africa with 11 staff, a trip costing taxpayers £83,000. Breaking it down, £70,000 on flights, £11,000 on hotels, over £1,000 on transport, and nearly £3,000 on food. Khan says it was to promote London internationally, but the truth is obvious. London is arguably among the most well-known cities in the world. So When things at home are chaotic, does a lavish, taxpayer-funded getaway suddenly start to feel enticing? You can appreciate the temptation, but the optics are brutal. Here's why Akua's segment strikes such a deep chord and has been shared thousands of times. It's not just the savage one-liners, though those land perfectly. It's not just the brutal honesty, though that is refreshing in a world of scripted platitudes. It's the fact that she's voicing what millions of Britons feel every single day, a disconnect between their struggles and the detached, performative lives of their political leaders. There's this feeling now growing in the whole of Britain that our politicians live in a completely different universe. They seem more interested in the image they project, in international trips, media appearances, and now, apparently, in their Netflix viewing habits than in anything close to what ordinary people face. When the Prime Minister shares his emotional journey, watching a streaming documentary, while families are forced to choose between heating and eating, something has gone wrong. When a Chancellor hits 0% approval on economic management and still keeps the job, something has gone wrong. When the Mayor of London spends £83,000 on overseas trips, while the city grapples with crime, housing, and transport issues, something has gone very wrong. This is why Nana Akua's approach resonates so strongly. She doesn't deliver criticism in any dry, monotone, technical way. She wields humor like a scalpel. Starmer tripping, the Biden comparison, bucket of sick. These aren't random insults. These are sticky moments cutting through the noise of modern politics. They're the lines repeated at work, the clips shared in group chats, the TikTok captions shouting, "Finally someone said it." In today's fast-moving media environment, that matters more than ever. Attention spans are short. News cycles reset every 6 minutes. Facts without punch don't spread. Data that makes no impact doesn't change anything. But brutal truth wrapped in humor? That's unforgettable. Here's the key. Akua's shots land because they reflect reality. The polls confirm it. Approval ratings confirm it. Public sentiment confirms it. People are tired of politicians acting like performers instead of leaders. Tired of contrived empathy. Tired of relatability stunts. What voters want is simple. Competence, seriousness, responsibility, leadership. So that bucket of sick line, more than just a viral insult. It's a warning, a reflection of how deep the disconnect between the public and the political class has become. Unless things change fast, that comparison will haunt this government straight into the next election. The voters have spoken, the polls have confirmed it, and one presenter has finally said out loud what millions were already thinking. What do you think? Is Akua right? Are our political leaders out of touch with reality? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're frustrated like the rest of Britain, share this video with someone who needs to see it. Hit subscribe for honest breakdowns of what's really happening in British politics, because they won't hold themselves accountable, so we will. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.